some of you know me. My name is Peter Gilmour. I'm a mental performance coach, a hypnotist, a speaker, an author. I've written a number of books. And basically what we're talking about here this evening is confidence, how to get more confidence and how to get rid of stress. Two of the big, the World Health Organization says stress is epidemic proportions right now. And I think we all know that with everything going on in the world. I don't need to tell you all the nasty things that are going on, but they say in the developed world, stress has never been higher. And of course, with stress comes all kinds of other things. And so what's going to happen is this. I'm going to talk to you about some of the about who I am, what I do, the kind of people I work with, the kind of methods I use to help them in lots of different ways. And we're going to do some of these things together, very simple, rapid, very effective techniques, which will help you to, if you use them every day, and my advice is to do them as soon as you get up in the morning, you can, and incidentally, you don't have to remember them. Whoever's here tonight, I'll send an email out. The only reason I didn't do it to start with is because I never know what I'm going to do when I start these things. So we'll see how we go, because I have hundreds of these techniques and they come into all kinds of different categories. We have breath work, which I know people say, well, I've been breathing all my life, I think I know how to do it. But the fact is, none of us breathe properly, and breath work is fundamental to well-being, in my opinion. We have tapping, which is tapping on different parts of your body. It changes your mental state. I know it sounds completely crazy. I thought it was crazy when I first heard about it many years ago, maybe 20 years ago. And then I was persuaded to do a course in it. It took me 5 minutes to find out it's completely magical. So we'll do a bit of tapping. I'll show you a bit of tapping. And then we will talk a little about NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, which is a modality invented by Richard Bandler and John Grinder, two fantastic guys, hypnotists actually. Bandler, who I know quite well, is getting on a bit now, probably in his late 80s, maybe even more than that, I don't know, but he's kind of the boss as far as these kinds of methods are concerned. I've worked with him a number of times, and you can't be in a room with that guy without learning something. He's actually not the nicest guy you'll ever meet, but he's brilliant. And then there's a whole bunch of other things, some things that I've invented myself, and all of it comes under the heading that what I call this is dynamic relaxation. That's the name of my therapy that I do with people, and I've been developing it and working with it for about 30 years. So these are not ideas that popped into my head yesterday. They're things that I've been developing, and it's one of those things that you never stop learning about. And I'm always looking for new things to make what I do better and more effective. I have worked with, the reason I'm doing this is because I'm trying to give something out to the world here, because I want people to have access to these things, because it helps people in their lives. And I have worked with a lot of very high achieving sort of people. I've worked a lot in sport with professional athletes, some of the most iconic athletes on the planet, and a number of world champions, and people in other walks of life, the business leaders, people in the world of performing arts, kind of people you see on TV, that sort of thing. But I really want to spread this out into the world. I've been doing it for a long time, and I'm trying to make the world a happier place. So there we go. I'm going to teach you some of these things, and we'll see how we get on with it. And then towards the end of this, I'll make you a little offer for something, very low price kind of offer to carry on with this if you want to. I'm trying to whet your appetite to want to do more of this because I think it's fantastic. I started doing it to help my son, who's a tennis player. Well, he's a coach now, but he used to lose his temper all the time. And I couldn't find any tennis coach or anybody at the LTA, you know, the Lawn Tennis Association, the governing body of the sport in this country, who could help me. They don't seem to understand the mental realm. They only seem to understand physical things. And this is a long time ago. Like I say, it's over 30 years ago now. And he was a talented player. He was in the top 20 or so of his age in the country, and he was very enthusiastic, but he used to lose his temper all the time. Just a tiny thing would set it off, and I'd have to listen to him shouting his head off all day. And so I was looking for ways to help him, and I came across this book in the library of a place called Ross-on-Wye, which is where we happened to live at the time, and it was called Sports Hypnosis, and I found a few techniques in there that I tried on Josh, that's the name of my son, and all of a sudden his whole demeanor changed immediately. He became happier and really seemed to enjoy everything a lot better, which was a great thing for me, because when you have a talented kid in the family and you're spending huge amounts of hours, lots of money on trying to help him develop his talent, it doesn't help when he's unhappy and becoming emotionally, you know, upset on the court, as a lot of young players do, because it's an individual sport. It's not like you've got a team of players around you. So that's how I started doing it. And I thought, right, I've got to go and learn this. Started off with hypnosis. I went to learn it, and then I found I could use it for all kinds of other things as well. Now I don't want to talk to you for an hour about me. I want to start off by maybe showing you one or other of the techniques I've got that we can do, and then I'll tell you a bit more about the relevance of it and how you can use it in your life. So I want to start with breathwork. Now, I could spend the whole hour talking about breathwork because it's such an important subject. None of us breathe properly. We breathe in the shallow way into the top part of the lungs, and it means stale air and gas builds up down here, and we need to get it out. We need to get, you know, the flow of oxygen and CO2 getting, you know, going properly. It's very simple to do that. There are hundreds of simple breathing techniques. I'm going to show you what other, I know hundreds of them, so other people who know even more than I do. There are people who specialize in breathing who only do breathing techniques for their clients. In fact, they travel the world doing breathing techniques, particularly in the corporate world. So I'm going to show you a technique called 20 connected breaths. Now, a lot of this stuff, a lot of breathing techniques come from Japan, China, India, that part of the world. This is actually comes from ancient Egyptian religion. And we're going to do it together. Now, before we start, I don't know if anybody here is feeling stressed to any extent or another. If I was in the room, I'd maybe say put your hands up or something. But if you've got an issue that you're stressed about, then think about that issue, get it focused in your mind, and measure it on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not much, 10 being a lot. That is the intensity of it in your life. Okay. And so we're going to measure it. We're going to do a few things, and we're going to see how far we can get it down. Because usually by going through 3 or 4 very simple techniques, we can get rid of the stress, anxiety, fear, doubt, worry, depression that people feel. Okay, so 20 connected breaths. It's a brilliant technique. I'll tell you what it is, then we'll do it. We're breathing in and out 20 times. So we're doing it 4 shorter breaths, then 1 longer breath, then 4 shorter ones, 1 longer one, until we get to 20. Okay. So if I can get you all to maybe, if you can, I don't know what you're all sitting on or whatever, but you can sit up straight, feet flat on the floor, hands on your knees, or if not, just sit as you are. But that's the best way to do it.
Peter, excuse me, can I ask,
Yeah.
are you going to explain, when you say a breath, are you talking
Yes.
about a whole breath, in breath and out breath? Are you going to
Well,
explain that to us?
I'm talking about breathing in and out through your nose, and to the rhythm that I'm going to establish. As
Thank
so,
you.
just
Thank you.
follow my lead, okay? And then we'll see how you feel after. Okay, everybody ready? Any other questions? So breathe in now. 2, 3, 4. No, wait a minute. I've just been doing another breathing exercise with somebody else, which I've still got in my mind. Right, sorry, start again. Breathe. Okay, ready? Breathe in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Long one. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Long one. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Long one. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Long one. In, out, and relax. 20 connected breaths. How do we feel? Do we notice any changes? We're all very quiet. 20 connected breaths. Bring it into your life, and just by doing a simple breathing technique, you can change your life. My advice is to do this in the morning, first thing, as soon as you get up, and any other time during the day when you feel like it. And the same with all the other exercises we're going to do, 3, 4 exercises. We'll see how far we get with it. Right. So what we're talking about here really is mental strength. So the question is, what is mental? People talk about mental strength. What is it? Where does it come from? How do you get it? So I just want to explain. Of course, I work with a lot of athletes. You know, mental strength is right at the top of everything that they try to develop in themselves, but they don't really understand what it is. They find it very hard to switch onto this kind of stuff. They've heard of sports psychology, which is okay. I suppose it's better than doing nothing, but the effect of all the things that I do is supersonic compared with what you might call sports psychology. So mental strength, what is it? It's for me, my definition of sport of mental strength is it's a combination of 4 elements. That is confidence, which this session is all about, belief, motivation, and focus. Those 4 things, they're the 4 cornerstones of mental strength. Where does it come from? Well, it comes from inside you. Everything you could possibly want to know is inside you. How do you get it? Well, you follow my mental training method. That's how you get mental strength, by doing all of these things that we're doing. And I can promise you that it's true. After 30 years of gathering all these things together, I see the changes in people when I work with them. And it's instant, whatever walk of life you happen to be in. You know, whether it's business, performing arts, or any of the things that I've talked about before, sport, you see instant changes in people. It's not a question of doing these things for weeks on end, months on end, years on end before you get any kind of a change in the way you feel and perform. But of course, when people go to the gym, if they want to get fit, so what if you if you don't do any if you don't do any physical training, what happens? If you don't do any exercising of your body, what happens? It goes all floppy, doesn't it? Well, it's the same with your mind. If you don't do any mental training, then your mind goes floppy as well, and you find it difficult to cope with certain things. So what I'm so what we're going to do is what are we going to do? We're going to do some NLP, I think, or are we going to do some tapping? Okay, no. The first thing I'm going to show you, right? We're talking about things when you get up in the morning. So the first thing I'm going to show you is what I call something to get things going in the morning, and I'll explain to you what I mean by that in a minute. We'll do the exercise first, okay? Now, this is a tapping exercise. Like I said, I don't know if any of you know about tapping. I don't know if any of you, well, some of you I do, because I know some of you, and I know that I've done some of this with you. So, but the other people who I don't know what level you're on, if you know anything about any of this kind of stuff at all or not. But I'm going to show you a very simple exercise, which is a way to get started in the morning, and I'll explain a bit more about it afterwards. What I'd like to do is to tap right here. Now, this here, in all of the tapping modalities, the terminology is the same. This here, what we're tapping on is the karate point. So tap on there, and now tap just here on the end of the forefinger. That's it, like that. I know it can seem ridiculous, this stuff. Now tap here, just underneath the nose. And now tap in the crack underneath the bottom lip. These 2 points are central vessels in the meridian energy system. And now tap on the finger on the other side. That's it. And now on the karate point on the other side. So there we have a kind of triangular thing. Stop. You can stop doing that now. So by doing that, and there's a reason for doing that, and the reason is to get your energy flowing. This is all about energy, energy psychology, because we're all electrical beings, and we have these energy systems that flow around our bodies. And sometimes they get clogged up or they flow the wrong way. And the reason for that is, okay, we're breathing in toxins. We know about the fumes of cars, the exhaust fumes of cars, but it's not only that. The manufacturing process of practically everything in our environment is such that they give off toxins. They're made with chemicals. So we're talking about paints, varnishes, furnishing fabrics, clothes, just about everything in our environment that gives off toxins that we are ingesting the whole time. We don't really see them and we don't notice. But on a summer's day, when there's a beam of light coming through the window and you can see little things floating around in it, those are the toxins that we're talking about, that we're breathing in the whole time. Not just that either, it's other toxic thoughts. So you switch on the television, and I don't need to tell you, there's, there are wars, there's, the environment, which is falling to bits, and people, problems with the economy and all kinds of things that mean that all of these things clog up our energy systems, and we need the energy to flow. The meridian energy system, the one we've been tapping on, is the same system that acupuncturists use. So whereas they put needles in to open up energy paths to allow energy to flow, we're tapping on these points. Now, there are hundreds of these points. I showed you one very simple technique, which is a very quick and very easy way to kickstart the day. And I really encourage you to use it along with the 20 connected breaths, which we did. And so now we move on, and we can do some NLP, I'm going to show you about something that we call anchoring, which is a very simple technique. And the reason why this is good is because the mind remembers states. Okay. So what I want you to think about is the time when you felt the best you ever felt in your life. Time you felt the best you ever felt in your life. Now, for a lot of people, it might be when their kids are born, or when they fell in love, or when they won something, when they did something fantastic. We talk to athletes, it's when they performed the best, played the best. But everybody has something, don't they? Has everybody got something? A time when you felt the best you ever felt in your life. And when you have that in your mind, what I would like you to do is take the thumb and middle finger of your dominant hand, the hand you write with, and press it together like that. And close your eyes and drift back to the time when you felt the best you ever felt in your life. Drift back there now. I want you to see what you saw, hear what you heard, feel what you felt at that moment when you felt the best you ever felt in your life. Feel all the positive, loving, joyful feelings that you had then flowing through your body, flooding through your body, making you feel amazing, because this was when you felt the best you ever felt in your life. And as you remember that moment, I want you to be there now, okay? And as you remember that moment, as you're in that moment, press that thumb and finger together a little stronger. And remember that at any time in the future, whenever you want to feel like that again, all you need to do is to press that thumb and finger together, and you'll feel all those wonderful, positive, loving feelings flooding back into your body. And you'll feel just like you did when you felt the best you ever felt in your life. Okay, 1, 2, 3, open your eyes. So that's called anchoring. Now, that's one way of doing it. You can have lots of anchors that you can have the moment you felt the most relaxed you ever felt, the time you felt the most inspired. You can take a whole range of emotions and go back and remember the time when you felt the most relaxed or inspired, or the most energetic, and you can tap on your knuckles with each one, so that when you go, it's called stacking anchors, and when you go out, all you need to do is to tap on the part of the body where you have stacked the anchor. Like this one we just did, we stacked it by pressing our thumb and finger together. So in the future now, you can try it now, press that thumb and finger together, feel all those wonderful feelings flooding back into your body, and you'll feel just like you did. These things work because the mind remembers states. It's like stepping back into a time when you felt the best. Okay. Any questions about that one? We have Richard Bandler to thank for that one. Okay. Right. Now then.
We've got a question, Peter, in the chat. How often do you have to practice for it to be set?
Oh, is there a chat going on? I can't see it. How often do you have to, hang on, let me have a look. Oh, for it to be set. Well, these things work immediately. They work straight away. And obviously, the more you do them, like I say, if people go to the gym and they don't just go once and say, right, I'm fit. They tend to go on a regular basis to build up fitness. And it's the same with this kind of stuff as well, except that these things work straight away. They really work instantly. And but the more you do them, the better they get. Same with anything else. The more you might find a slightly different way of doing it, which suits you better. When people come back to me and say, well, I was doing that exercise, but I decided to do this way or that way, then I'm always pleased to hear that somebody's found a better way of doing it, because it helps me to learn and find better ways of doing it. Of course, after all the time I'm doing, I think I pretty much have the optimum way of doing most of these things, but I'm always ready to learn, always ready to get better. This is the kind of subject you never stop learning about. But the main thing is really to start doing it and start feeling the. Of course, we're scratching the surface of a huge subject here. Like if you're talking about breathing exercises, there are hundreds of them. They're only the, like I showed you, a very simple breathing exercise, but there are much longer ones. There's a breathing exercise called the coherent breath, which is 6-6 breathing into the count of 6, breathing out to the count of 6. But it's a much longer breathing exercise. You need to do it for 20 minutes every day. And they say that it improves everything you can measure about the human body. Okay, so you can go and look that up, and you can do it if you want. I mean, within the scope of an hour's session here, I haven't really got time to do it with you because we probably do nothing else. But the coherent breath is something fantastic. And I'm cherry picking bits and pieces that I think will probably be the best things for you to do now. But there are hundreds of breathing exercises, tapping exercises, NLP exercises. NLP itself is a massive modality. And of course, hypnosis, which I tend to call dynamic relaxation, only because when you talk about hypnosis, which I'm always prepared to talk about because I think it's the best modality for just about anything in life, people go, oh, are you doing it now? Are you going to turn me into a chicken? That sort of thing. And people are sort of a bit apprehensive about it, worried about it. And there's really no need to be. It's because they see these silly shows on television where people they make people look daft, and people think they lose control. They say, I don't like to lose control. But I don't know where they get their information, because you're more in control of your mind and your life in a hypnotic trance than at any other time. And I'm being very honest with you here, because if you say to somebody, oh yeah, would you like to do some dynamic relaxation? It's kind of guided meditation. People say, oh yeah, that sounds good. We'll do some of that. But if you call it hypnosis, they get all worried about it. And we are going to do some of that. One thing, I'm just keeping an eye on the time here. Although as far as the time is concerned, I can stay around to talk to anybody who is interested. Right. So I'm going to give you another exercise. Okay, very, very simple exercise, which is all about cross hemispheric balance. It's a very, very simple thing. It's another thing which, if you do in the morning, you can't really have anything simpler than this. But it has a big, big effect, and you'll hear me saying pretty much the same thing about all of these things. And I'm able to say that because I've used them extensively, not only myself, but with hundreds, probably thousands of people by now. This is called the butterfly. Okay, all you need to do is to cross your hands over and put your hands on your shoulders like this, and tap alternately like this. And it's all about cross hemispheric balance. As you do it, you'll immediately find yourself becoming more relaxed. For more than one reason. It's the feeling, it's a very comforting feeling of doing this tapping, and it's also the sound that it makes. And when I say cross hemispheric balance, keep doing it, keep going. It's you have two hemispheres in the mind, and they both have energy systems. And when you connect those energy systems, it's when you go into a meditative kind of state. So when people pray, what do? They go like this, don't they? And the reason they do that, they don't realize it, most people, but they're connecting the left and right energy systems together. And it puts them into this meditative state. This does it even better because you have the sound as well, and the sound crosses over inside the mind, and it puts you into this relaxed, meditative kind of state. Okay, you can stop doing that now. It's nice, isn't it? It's nice to do that. So you have that. You have the breathing technique, the 20 connected breaths, which please do it because it's fantastic. You have the tapping exercise that we did. And I just want to mention that in London a couple of weeks ago, we had the London Marathon, and there was a absolutely fantastic thing happened, and nobody seems to really be talking about it, but because the guy that won it, Sebastian Sawe, who's an African guy from Kenya, I think, he ran a marathon in under 2 hours. He's the first person ever to do it in a race, and it was the most wonderful thing that he did on that day. A great achievement to be able to run them. Nobody has ever done it before in a race. And one of the first things he said, if we're talking about confidence, when he was being interviewed afterwards, he said, I mean, I don't know if you realize what anybody who likes sport will know what a fantastic achievement it was. And the first thing he said was, well, actually, I feel I could have run it faster than that. Shows how much confidence he has. And he reminded me of the time when a guy called Roger Bannister, who you might have heard of, ran the first mile in under 4 minutes, because that was a similarly great achievement. And this was in 1954. In fact, yesterday, May the 6th, was the anniversary. He did it on May the 6th, 1954, at a running track in Oxford, the Iffley Road running track, which is renamed the Roger Bannister running track. And I don't know if you've heard of Roger Bannister. I find there's a mix of some people who've heard about it and some people who haven't. At the time, it was considered the finest athletic achievement ever in the history of what we used to call athletics, what we now call track and field. And the record then had stood for almost 10 years at just over 4 minutes, and people called it the 4-minute mile barrier because they said it was impossible. They said that a human being could not run that fast, and if they did, doctors at the time said your heart might explode in the process because a human being cannot run that fast. But Bannister didn't believe that. And he was determined to be the first man to run a mile in under 4 minutes. And John Landy, who was an Australian athlete, was another athlete who was trying to beat him to it. And there were a number of others as well, elite athletes who were trying to be the first person to run a mile in under 4 minutes. And then Roger Bannister stepped out onto the Iffley Road running track on May the 6th, 1954, and he ran a mile in a fraction under 4 minutes. He fell through the tape, exhausted, and word went round the world slowly because we didn't have 24-hour rolling news in those days. I mean, if your team, if you followed a football team that was playing in Europe, it might be a week before you knew what the result was, because we didn't have an instant world like we do today. But he fell through the tape. He was deliberately trying to do that. He had a number of pacemakers, you know, as people who were running along with him to keep the pace at world record pace. And he fell through the tape, went around the world, the news went around the world, and he was acclaimed as one of the finest athletes ever. It was a great achievement. And he took part in the opening of the 2012 Olympics in London. He's passed on since then. But the funny thing about that is that after almost 10 years of nobody being able to break this record and calling it the barrier, the 4-minute mile barrier, a number of people in the following 12 months ran a mile in under 4 minutes. If you look now, you'll see that I think it's about 2,500 athletes have run a mile in under 4 minutes. And so what does this tell us? That you believe you can do something, there's a chance you'll do it. If you don't believe you can do it, you probably won't. So my advice to anybody who wants to achieve things is to practice believing, because that is the way to get where you want. And all these methods that I'm showing you, I mean, we're kind of scratching the surface. I've shown you a few simple things. We'll do some other things in it. They're all designed to help people get that belief to achieve what they want to achieve in life. It doesn't have to be breaking a record like that. It could be getting a job or finding a partner or something else. But just to put the whole thing in context, they don't run the mile as a competitive distance now in international athletics. But the last time it was run, the last record that was set for the mile was in 1999 by a Moroccan athlete called Hisham Al Garouj, great athlete. And he ran a mile in 33.13. 343.13. 343.13. That's over a quarter of a minute quicker than the 4 minutes that people said was impossible. A quarter of a minute quicker. And so the point, of course, is that these barriers, they called it the 4-minute mile barrier, but it was purely a mental barrier. And we have these mental barriers. And if we want to make something of ourselves, we need to sweep away these mental barriers, just like Save did in the marathon in London a couple of weeks ago, because people said that was impossible, that nobody would ever, even great athletes said they never expected to see anybody run a marathon in under 2 hours. So there's a lot of things we can achieve if we decide that we're going to, that we want to, and we've got to find ways to do these things. Okay. Roger Bannister, a great man. You know, these people, they take the world forward a little bit. So we're going to do some dynamic relaxation now, which I'm sure that you're going to enjoy. I'm just going to have a look at the time. Yeah. And then you may have some questions or you may not. Anyway, this is about 5 minutes of a little journey in your mind that is great fun. So what I'd like you to do is to follow my instructions and take a nice big deep breath and hold it in and breathe out and relax, and take another nice big deep breath and hold it in and breathe out twice as much. That's it. And relax. And listen carefully to the sound of my voice. I'm going to count down now from 3 down to 1. On the count of 1, I'd like you to close your eyes, relax, and allow yourself to drift away. That's it. 3, 2, and 1. Eyes closed now. Relax. And allow yourself to drift away. Feel yourself drifting away now, all the way down, all the way down. That's it. Feel a wave of relaxation flooding through your body from the top of your head all the way down to the tips of your toes as you relax deeper and deeper now, all the way down, all the way down. That's it. This is hypnotic. From this moment on, I want you to imagine that I'm talking to you and to you alone. This session has been designed specifically to boost your confidence, belief, focus, and tap into all of your own inner motivational abilities, to tune up your immune system, to help you recover from any ailment, discomfort, or pain, either physical or emotional, to help you eliminate any stress, anxiety, fear, doubt, worry, or depression, to help you achieve that ultimate state of inspiration, the zone, the flow, the groove, that'll allow you to achieve amazing things, because you have the ability inside to help yourself, heal yourself, energize yourself, inspire yourself. My role is merely to help you engage with your own incredibly powerful inner strength so you can enter that beautiful place we call the zone of inspiration. And we're going to do that now. Now, as you relax, allow your mind to drift down into that wonderful space without borders, without limits, without restrictions, a space where everything's possible, a space of total bliss. Feel yourself drifting now, all the way down, all the way down. Get a sense of it happening now as you listen to my voice, your mind and body drifting deeper and deeper, relaxing completely now. That's it. Just let go. Get a sense of drifting into the most profound state of relaxation, dynamic relaxation. Imagine it's happening automatically now, and there's nothing you can do about it because it's happening all by itself. That's right. Just dropping into that space, that inspirational space. Every breath you take and every word I say now takes you deeper and deeper down. And every word I say now doubles that relaxation. And every word I say now is your reality. And as you listen to the sound of my voice, allow every word I say and every breath you take to take you deeper and deeper into relaxation, because the more relaxed you become, the better you feel. And the better you feel, the deeper you relax. And the deeper you go, the deeper you want to go. That's it. Drifting into that space, that amazing space. And just when you feel you've reached that ultimate space, the sound of my voice takes you 10 times deeper, 100 times deeper, 1,000 times deeper. That's it. All the way down now, all the way down. Imagine it's happening automatically and there's nothing you can do about it. And every word I say now doubles that feeling of relaxation again. And everything I say now is your reality. Every suggestion I give you, your mind and body will act upon without hesitation at a cellular, molecular, biological level. And everything I say now doubles that relaxation. And every word I say now is your reality. That's it. You're relaxed now. And because you're so relaxed, you feel free from all tension, anxiety, and fear. You feel a deep calmness spreading throughout your body and mind as you relax deeper than you've ever relaxed before. Relax deeper now. And as you do, you realize something wonderful is happening to you, something you may have hoped and prayed for, and you can actually feel it happening to you now. It's unstoppable and it feels amazing because now, as you relax, you feel an inspirational energy flowing through your mind and body, spreading strength and good feelings throughout your entire being. You feel a happy yet powerful excitement building from deep within your stomach as you sense the ending of all negative feelings and emotions and the opening of a brand new chapter in your life. As if a valve deep down in the core of your being has opened up, draining away all blockages and negative energy and stress and anxiety. You can feel all that stress and negative energy draining away from you now, all negative energy draining out and away. And what fills up the space it leaves behind is a different energy, a new energy, a beautiful, positive energy that inspires a creative life force to flourish inside you and provide you with an endless supply of inner strength, confidence, calmness, and unconditional love. It's an inner light that easily refills in an endless supply, focusing you, rejuvenating, refreshing, and revitalizing you, balancing you, and liberating all the creative energy within you unstoppably, so that from this moment on, your confidence skyrockets. Everything flows beautifully, and you enjoy every moment of your life. Imagine it's happening, feel it happening, and there's nothing you can do about it. And now, as you relax in this beautiful, deep state of special relaxation, I'm going to give you a very special, dynamic mental gift, because from this point forward, whenever you see the color red, whether it's a traffic light or the brake lights of a car or an apple or a postbox or something somebody's wearing, it'll act as an instant switch to happiness, an instant switch to feeling great, a switch that allows you to feel positive and cheerful at all times, an instant switch that creates a tidal wave of positive energy flooding through your whole system, mind, body, and spirit, allowing you to feel amazing, 1,000 times better than before, so that in the future, if at any time you experience any difficulty with stressful or negative feelings or emotions creeping up on you, all you need to do is to look around and you'll find the color red, and it'll instantly transform you to a wonderful state of serenity, calmness, and happiness, with total confidence flooding through your mind and body, at one with the world around you and with everyone in it. What an amazing feeling. Pay attention to that feeling and let it spin round and round in you till it builds up and flows through every pore of your mind and body. Let it spin inside you stronger and bolder until that happy, positive, inspired feeling becomes the dominant, driving, overwhelming force in your mind and body now. That's it. And now, I'm going to count up from 1 up to 5. On the count of 5, you'll be wide awake, relaxed, re-energized, refreshed, really looking forward to whatever life brings. 1, feeling amazing. 2, 1,000 times better than before. 3, a feeling of freedom from every limiting belief that ever held you back. 4, imagine it's happening, feel it happening, and there's nothing you can do about it. 5, eyes open, wakey, wakey. Welcome back. Okay. Everyone all right? You're all smiling. It's a good sign. I hope you found that good fun. I certainly did. So we got 5 minutes or so of our hour left. I just wondered if there were any questions anybody might have about what we've been doing. What we just did, what I call dynamic relaxation. I mean, whatever you call it, whether it's dynamic relaxation or hypnosis or prayer or meditation. When you close your eyes and go inside, there's only one place to go. And but for some reason, all those other things I mentioned, meditation, for instance, mindful meditation is flavor of the month in certain places. But people seem to be a bit worried about hypnosis. So I don't know if you have to put a title on it, really, but like I said to you before, as soon as you mention hypnosis, everybody seems to get worried, and you've got to lock all the doors to stop everyone running out of the room. And I've never understood, because from the moment I discovered it all those years ago, 30 years ago, I have never looked back. And most people who I work with, a lot of them who don't really know what to expect, they don't know what it's going to feel like, what they should feel like, they are a little bit apprehensive when they first come and have a session with me. And it's usually because they've tried everything else. They've been to the doctor, they've tried this quack remedy or that quack remedy, and nothing's worked for them. And then they come and they find that hypnosis solves the problem they had. And there are so many things that hypnosis solves. So, for instance, IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, which if you go to the doctor, it's one of the things they struggle with. They're unlikely to find a cure. They give out pills which tend not to work, and people carry on having the symptoms for a long time, and they're really it's a really horrible, debilitating thing to have. And chronic fatigue, ME, is another one where doctors struggle, where with hypnosis you get a much more positive result. Depression, it's another thing doctors struggle with. They have two possibilities. They either prescribe you antidepressants or they refer you to a psychologist, psychiatrist. And if you're lucky, if they refer you, it might be a year or something before you actually get in to see somebody else who maybe knows a little bit about it, more than they do, because doctors, generally speaking, don't know much about the mind at all. But they prescribe antidepressants, and it's the main reason why in the developed world, throughout the developed world, about 25% of people are swallowing huge amounts of antidepressants with their cornflakes at breakfast. They don't really help. A simple breathing exercise or a tapping exercise would have a much better effect, such as the things we've been doing today. And the problem with antidepressants, I'm not saying nobody should take them. They might be helpful for some people, but generally speaking, I'm talking very generally here, and I'm not a doctor, so you don't have to believe necessarily everything I say, but the problem with those pills is that they tend to zombify people. So they still have the issue that they started with. They just don't care about it anymore because they're zombified out with these pills. And so my advice is don't take them. I have absolutely no right to tell anybody not to take them because I'm not a doctor. But that would be my feeling about it. Okay. And what do you think about that? Anybody? Do you think tapping or breath work might be better than taking antidepressants? My feeling most definitely is that it is. So what I'm going to do is these things that we've done today, I'll to everybody who's on the call, I'll send out. Oh yeah, and the thing I haven't said is that we've got this this special offer that I'm making to everybody. It's really quite a good offer because it's very cheap. It's 4 sessions like this where we do different things all the time, because I have this huge resource, different things, different techniques, different meditations. 4 sessions, 1 hour, £147. And if you want an individual session with me, I normally charge 250 quid or more than that, but anybody on this call, £97. That's what we said we would offer before we started doing this. So so it's either the group thing, 4 sessions 147, or individual sessions at £97, which is dirt cheap, really. Okay, I think we've got to the end of our time. We've got to 8 o'clock. If anybody's got any questions, I'm very happy to answer them. And if you haven't, I guess we'll call it a night. How's everyone feel? Are you all okay?
I feel very relaxed, Peter. It's Nick here. Yeah, thank you very much, as I would say.
You're welcome, Nick. Nick's got a big date coming out. He's an Arsenal supporter, so he's gonna.
Every day's a big day.
Yeah, he's got to find a way to hitchhike to Budapest.
Yeah,
for the final in a
I'm
couple
ready.
of weeks.
Now I believe. Now you've made me believe everything's possible. What can possibly go wrong?
Yeah, well, that's it, because I do things with you and you're transferring all this positivity